Hello and welcome again to the Writer Review. This is Eric Corrupt Writer, and this week we're going to be taking a look back at the 1994 action comedy titled True Lies. Now, True Lies runs for 2 hours and 21 minutes long. It is directed by James Cameron. It is produced by James Cameron and Stephanie Austin. The script was written by James Cameron. The story was written by James Cameron and Randall Frakes. It is based on the play La Totale by Claude Zidi, Simon Michael, and Didier Kaminka. The score was done by Brad Fidel. The cinematography by Russell Carpenter, and the editing was done by Conrad Buff, Mark Goldblatt, and Richard A. Harris. And the stars of the movie are Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold, God rest his soul, the late great Bill Paxton. I just still can't believe he's dead. We have Art Malik, Tia Carrere, Eliza Dushku, Grant Heslov, and Charlton Heston. Oh my goodness, what can I say about this movie? This was one fucking hell of a ride. This was probably, in my opinion, maybe one of the best action comedy movies going. It really had a lot for it, and I was just completely blown away. Even though this movie came out 23 years ago, it still has aged very, very well. And if you guys have never seen this before, then what the hell kind of action fans are you? You gotta check this movie out. It's one of the best. And if you still are not convinced, I don't know what to think. So anyways, here it goes. True Lies stands the test of time as being one of the most well-crafted action films ever made. Director James Cameron, this is actually the third collaboration that James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger did together. Sadly, it's the last. Of course, James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger collaborated with the first two Terminator movies and this movie. Those are the 3 times that Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Cameron collaborated with each other. James Cameron lets in on his signature traits by adding suspense and comedy while trying to appease to fans who are aficionados of differing genres. With a very humorous background, this story doesn't just depend on stunts, explosives, dynamic fighting scenes, strong female fighters, and secret agent gadgets. It also provides strong character development, likable, caring characters, and brilliant performances all around. This is one of the best action movies of the 1990s. No, fuck that. This is one of the best action movies ever. You've got to see this one. Please, do it. Don't just take my words. Lots of people gave a lot of praise to this movie. If you really are a true action hero, you've got to see this. Don't just look at me. Go do it. Go on. Go on. While I continue my praises for this movie. Alright, the opening scene, which has a similar setting to that of a James Bond opening scene. It proceeds in Switzerland, where black operative Harry Tasker, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, rises out of a pond while he removes his wetsuit only discover he's wearing a tuxedo underneath it. After becoming suspicious of antiques dealer Juno Skinner, played by Tia Carrere, Harry Tasker, along with his cohorts Albert Gibson, played by Tom Arnold, and Faisal, played by Grant Heslov, as he continues his dangerous initiative to search for a Palestinian group known as the Crimson Jihad. The opening scene was really well executed, mainly to the scintillating score from Cameron regular Brad Fiedel. This is awesome because most opening scenes in a lot of movies don't often start that way. The opening scene will truly take your breath away. The film then goes on what feels like a different direction, but it is still pulled off effectively. We come to his wife, Helen, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who works as a rather generic job as a secretary, and she only sporadically ever sees her husband, who she believes is due to him working at an equally unexciting job as a computer software salesman, when really he has a much more cooler and much more dangerous job than that. But he's been keeping this secret to her for a very long time, and she feels that her life is too ordinary, and the monogamy has kind of gotten the better of her. They live in the suburbs. They have a daughter played by Eliza Dushku, and they seem to live a rather dull, ordinary life. Or so they say. So then Harry is also led to the assumption that Helen has been a little bit promiscuous behind his back with a esoteric spy named Simon, played by Bill Paxton. Harry tries to use his secret agent persuasion to get her back into his life. In a brilliant comical scheme to push aside the mayhem, as Gibson conjures up a very difficult task against the untrustworthy person who Helen has been seeing, who he's not actually really a spy, but he's actually a car salesman who uses his spy job as an excuse just to get a quick lay. So while this is happening, the Crimson Jihad are planning on igniting nuclear warheads on America, as where Harry's professional life is just as much in danger as his personal life. So what appeared to be a dangerous mission turns out to be even more dangerous, because his whole family is now in jeopardy. So now it's up to Tasker, along with his cohorts, to put a stop to the Crimson Jihad, or else he and his family will be killed. So much like the Terminator films, where Arnold Schwarzenegger's physique is to better use than his acting capabilities, few films require him to don his limited acting chops. But still, he was successfully able to mount enough chemistry from his co-star Jamie Lee Curtis, who delivered a very courageous and endearing performance, which was enough to get her a Golden Globe win, and from Tom Arnold, who was able to stand up to Schwarzenegger's more macho scenes. Now, Tom Arnold, I'm not a huge fan of his, but I gotta say, he did pull it off very well. There were a few parts about him that bugged me, but it wasn't like as excessively as I have seen him in other previous films. But he still manages to pull off the protagonist foil very well. Many kudos goes to James Cameron, who wrote a splendid adaptation of the French film La Totale, which had some surreal moments of slapstick into heart-pounding action that this film delivers. So if you're not a huge fan of action and you like comedy, or you like a little blend of comedy to go with your action, this movie truly delivers in all facets, enough to satisfy the action film aficionado just as effectively as the comedy film aficionados. In the end, you will all walk out with a smile on your face, and if you guys walk out with a smile on your face, you're sure to guarantee to put a smile on my face. So the stunts and the explosions are definitely well executed, and it shows James Cameron's inner child for his love over the top thrills. And it's okay to be over the top in this movie. This movie is over the top in all levels, but it works very, very effectively. Highly intense shootouts are adrenaline pumping features, some adrenaline pumping scenes. You're going to truly enjoy this for that reason alone. But the motorcycle chase through the Marriott is one of the most memorable scenes in cinematic history. I definitely truly enjoyed this scene a lot. I mean, it was epical. It was a bit long, but that's okay. Even though the movie is 2 hours and 21 minutes long, the pacing is so well, you'll really truly think that time does fly. And you know the old saying goes, time flies when you're having fun. Well, this movie puts that statement right intact. And if that's not enough to keep you glued, it comes complete with grenades, flamethrowers, and missiles. And though it may sound cliche, but the bad guys have what's coming to them, and Schwarzenegger can truly deliver. I gotta give hats off for a great villain performance by Malik, who really delivered his villainy role perfectly well. Carrere, she's not only smoking hot, she is also very convincing as the secondary antagonist, and the cat fight in the limo between her and Jamie Lee Curtis is surely enough to send chills down your spine. It's one of the most exciting scenes I have ever seen. I mean, this is one hell of a fucking awesome action movie, and probably one of the best that you'll ever see. This is truly one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movies. I mean, it's pretty much up there, True Lies. Of course, Terminator is number 1. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, number 2. True Lies, number 3. Total Recall, number 4. And Kindergarten Cop, number 5. Those are the best movies of Arnold Schwarzenegger's career. Sure, I also like The Sixth Day as well. But this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger really, truly delivers. I think he really knocked it out of the ballpark here. And even his performance had also stepped up a notch. And I never really given him too much praise for his performances, acting-wise. But here, he also can showcase that he does have a good flair for comedy and a good flair for action. Well, of course, action. That's his forte. I just could not have seen anybody else to play the role of Harry Tasker better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe Sylvester Stallone, possibly Jean-Claude Van Damme, maybe even Steven Seagal, but I don't think that they would have done very much justice. This is truly Arnold, and this is Arnold at Arnold's best. Sure, there are some flaws where you kind of must ignore from logic, but it's got plenty of action, a lot of great exciting buddy cop moments, marital reparations, terrorist plotting, and a recurring thematic tango. It's truly the ultimate film that could be both a guilty pleasure and an exciting thrill ride. And I don't think I could say very much about this anymore, but you just got to go and see it. It's truly an adventure of a lifetime. You'll be sitting on your chair, and you will feel like you are part of this ride. It really, truly gets you involved. I couldn't recommend it. I really couldn't recommend it enough. You got to see this movie. It is a masterpiece that many action films have tried to emulate, but just simply cannot duplicate. And because of this, I give True Lies a perfect 10 out of 10. And I don't often give 10s out of 10s very much, but this movie is a perfect 10. So what are you waiting for? Go look for it. Get off your asses, go to your video store and look for the movie. Don't just take my words. If you were a true action film, you would do that. No, I know, all kidding aside, but this is just a movie that cannot be neglected or ignored by the critics. I mean, this is a movie that will truly take you out of your sad estates and put you in a better mood. It did wonders for me. It could do wonders for you. You gotta check it out. So I guess this ends my ride review. Thank you all for listening in. If you wish to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to do so. If you wish to leave a comment, go right ahead. Just remember, be kind, be courteous, and don't be rude. And go out and get True Lies. Watch it. It might be somewhere on the internet. I don't know, Putlocker, Sockshare. Maybe it's posted on YouTube or Daily Motion. Well, I doubt it's going to be on YouTube. But I think maybe Daily Motion might have it. Metacafe, Vimeo. It should be there. I see a lot of old classic movies on places like Sockshare and Putlocker or any other places where they might have the movie. And I think you'll truly enjoy this movie. I highly recommend it. And that's about it. So until next time, this is Eric Ryder saying, keep watching those movies. And I'll see you around. And I'll be back. Goodbye.